Computer. All right, everybody, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday night. I thought today was Thursday because it was team call. And then I sat down and was like, oh, wait, no, it's not Thursday. Thanks for being flexible. This seemed to be the night that the majority of people could come. And I like having it a little earlier in the week, just because I just feel like Thursdays and Fridays tend to be a little more nuts. So I'm excited to kick off a new team call. We'll keep it here. I'm always on at 8 o'clock if you want to come early and ask questions or jam or work. I had music blaring when Elizabeth popped on. But I'm really excited, you guys, tonight to come and share a tool that I made, and it's posted in the team page to help us. So every first call of the month, we always do getting started right. And it's for new coaches to say welcome and here's how you get started, but also for all of us to say, how do I kick off my month? And I know it's not exactly the first of the month, but it's early enough in the month that this is applicable. And so I made a worksheet for you to print off, to use each month on this call and to use to help you grow. I think that Sarah did a call on Sunday night for challengers. It was a Getting Started Right call, and she talked about key things to really focus on to set yourself up for success. And I was thinking about that in this business and how we need to be doing kind of the same thing. And so to give us some, I guess, uniformity, I don't know what the right word is, between calls, I thought that this would be a good worksheet. You know, I love making a good worksheet. So we're going to use it tonight. If you didn't print it off, that's okay. You can fill out like on a piece of paper and then transfer it over when you're,
ran out of elastic.
When you're on the,
Are you all done?
I'm not going to have enough.
Somebody's making masks. Elizabeth, her face. So you're fine. I'm muted.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
No worries. So I'm going to actually, tonight what I want us to do is I want this to be like a working call. So I'm going to share my screen and hopefully I'll share it to the right thing. Hang on. Okay, can you guys see the document? Give me a thumbs up if you see it. Okay, so every month now in the team page, to kind of replace the Monday Focus video, I will post, and I know it came up late this week, it's kind of been an off week for me, but we will have a menu for the month. So there's a May menu, and on the May menu, you will see things we can offer people like challenge groups and those dates and coach workshops and freemiums. And you will see growth opportunities. So like our team calls and the Challenger Zooms and any other bonus calls that we have that month. And you'll also have some posting ideas that I'll share. But then on the weeks, I'm going to share a graphic that I made today that's called like the specials of the week. That'll tell you specifically what you need to focus on that week. So when you're working on this worksheet, you'll kind of want to like reference that to help you with your planning when it comes to business stuff. That way you always know what's coming. The dates are always posted also on the team header. And so that way you know like where you can find, National Wake Up Call, team call, that kind of stuff. The dates of our challenge group, like our May group is kicking off on Monday. Our coach workshop will be later on in the month. And it's just important that we take some time to plan a little bit ahead. So often I found in the business when I'm not paying attention to what's coming, it gets here before I know it. So I want us to take some time this month and next month to really slow down and take some intentionality with our business and our challenges, our challenge groups, and our own journey. So that's my hope with this. So if you're a newer coach and your first step, we welcome you. We're excited to have you here, is to get with your coach on doing the Getting Started Right checklist. That's going to help you kind of get started with your first goals. And then this worksheet can be something you can start using in month 2. Once you've kind of walked through what your process is going to be with your coach. And all of the stuff for newer coaches is in the unit section of the team page. So unit 1 is kind of where you start. But from now, for us at the beginning of the month, what I want you to do is use the worksheet to plan your goals and reverse engineer them. So the first thing you're going to do tonight, and then I'm going to kind of reference some things we have in the team page that can help you with these different areas as we go through them too, because maybe you don't know they're there. I'm always trying to update units and stuff as corporate rolls out training, or I get my eyes on something. Allison shared a really cool Emerald video from Rob Pearson. So like that kind of stuff was always rolling out. But the first thing you have to do always is to focus on your personal journey. If we are not taking care of ourselves, it's hard to build this business, because the outflow of our mission really comes from our own journey. Your story is uniquely like the foundation of your business, because it's what inspires you to help others. It's what keeps you connected to the mission of what you're doing. It keeps you connected to the process itself. So what I want you to do is take a moment and think about your personal journey. And I want you to write down, you can decide how many goals, 3 to 5, but your goals for this month: fitness, nutrition, personal development, and think about who you want to be in May. And if you feel comfortable, type some of them in the chat. So just take a moment to write those down. I'll write mine down too. Okay, so some examples, like I wrote down for myself, I want to be exercising 5 days a week. I want to be getting in 80 ounces of water, getting in my Shakeology daily, and tracking with 2B Mindset. My personal development focus right now is Appreciation Academy stuff, working with Brad, and a book I just got on shame. And I wrote, I want to be peaceful and present, because I found that this month I've been anxious and wanting to hide because I'm just overwhelmed. So I want these goals to help me be that. So then the next section, it says your business goals. So this is where you'll talk about your income goal, your team rank goal. How many new clients would you like to serve? How many new coaches would you like to recruit? How will you lead better and add value in your challenge group and team? So take a few moments to write those things down. Let's see if I can see the chat. If you feel comfortable, please share yours in the chat as well. Oh, sorry, Beth. I do have a lot of tabs open. It's like my brain. I'll fix it. Here we go. So if you feel comfortable, write your goals in the chat. Okay, Next, we're going to reverse engineer your steps. And then we're going to take a little time to do this tonight. You can do this if you ever need help. This is something that sometimes it's helpful to talk through with your coach. You could come to the call like early and talk to me or whoever is on with me about it. But reverse engineering, you need to get specific. So for your personal, what fitness program are you doing right now? How will you track your workouts? Like, be specific. Is it a calendar on the wall you're checking off? Is it on the BOD group app? How will you track your progress? Are you going to take photos every week? Are you going to step on the scale once a week? Are you going to measure? Like, be specific. What supplements are you taking? Is it Shakeology, Energize, Recover, Power Greens? If you purchase something, make it part of what you're doing to help you reach that goal. What is your growth plan for the month? You know, how do you want to grow right now? So for me, like I shared that I want to be more peaceful and present. So part of my growth plan for the month is going to be refocusing on my gratitude in the morning and at night, because that really helps me, which is the habit that I want to develop. How will you celebrate reaching these goals? And this is something I added because I really want you to think about it. If your goal is to lose 10 pounds and you lose 5 pounds in May, what will you do to celebrate yourself? Are you going to put money aside so that when you hit your goal, you're going to get a new pair of workout pants or a fun tank or a headband or a book or a journal or something you can order online right now? Like, what is it that you're going to celebrate with? Like, I want you to set a celebration for these goals, something that means something to you. And there, I put the link for the Challenger Zoom that we did Sunday night that Sarah led, in case you want some help reverse engineering your goals, because she gave some really good suggestions there. So take a moment to think about these things, because it's important that it's easy to say I want to work out 5 days a week, and it's easy not to do it if we don't know how we're going to track it or what program we're going to do. I love following a program because it tells me what to do. So take a few moments to write those down, and then we'll shift over to business. When you guys are done with this, if you could like thumbs up or put it in the chat. It's really good. Give everybody just a minute more. Okay, now when you move over to business, when you set a goal like I want to help 10 or 5 new people a month, then you need to set a business goal of how many invites are you going to send to challenge groups for the month, and how many does that mean you need to send a day. So typically the kind of golden rule, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, of the past is like helping, 3 to 5 new people, you want to send about 30 invites. I don't want to say statistically because there's not like there's been a research project done on it, but like 1 out of 10 people are usually ready to say yes, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on forming in months. And as you get better with talking to people and asking questions and forming, your closing ratio will increase. But if you wanted to hit SC5, then 30 invites divided by however many days you want to work, so typically 2, 2, and 2 should do it for you. But if you're trying to all invite before a group, then maybe it needs to be 3, 3, and 3 invites a day for 2 weeks to the challenge group. Like, you get to decide that. To coaching, if you want to help 1 new coach or 2 new coaches, you want to be inviting about 10 people to coach. Coaching closing ratios, I find, can be lower, and based on the fact that a lot of times we're inviting people we're already working with. But set a goal. You can't invite one person to coach and expect that one person to always say yes. I mean, that happens sometimes, but it's good to set a goal. So say your goal is, I want to invite 10 people to coaching, and then you immediately are probably going to say, gosh, I don't know 10 people to invite. Don't say that. Say, I want to invite 10 people to coaching, and spend this month building relationships so that that number becomes doable for you. You don't have to push yourself to do it before you're ready, but have it in mind as what you're working towards. Just like if you want to lose 15 pounds, you're not gonna be like, well, I can't lose that in a week. Well, no, but it doesn't mean you don't do anything to work towards that goal. What will you be inviting to? Are you inviting to the May challenge? Are you going to run a free group? Are you going to run your own challenge group with a few people? So think about what groups you will help lead in. How are you going to track? And this is where unit 2 is always good to revisit. There are a few different business activity trackers in there. If you're new, we recommend the 222 tracker. But if you've been doing that for a while, ask yourself if you're ready to level up to the 3 power of 3 one. Take a look. Decide when you're going to work, and what business growth will you tap into. Guys, when I talk about business growth you'll tap into, it could be listening to the National Wake Up Call and being on the team call every week. You don't have to spend an hour a day on a business call to grow in this business. You could listen to one Bob Heilig podcast for the entire week and apply it. That is totally sufficient. Just like you wouldn't tell someone to go run on a treadmill for 6 hours. It's the little things over time. So pick something, and I would say definitely the team call and the National Wake Up Call are great starting points. And then if you're ready for a little more, if you're like, gosh, I need some help with social media, well, then go listen to a podcast about it. And then how are you going to celebrate your success? When you help those 3 people and you make that $200, what are you going to do to celebrate it? What would excite you right now? Would it be that you can take your husband out and get some coffee in a drive-through and sit at a park and drink it? Would it be, I love, and if you have a story, share it now of what you use some of your coaching money for those of you that are here. A new workout tank. I love that. Get my kids ice cream. Yes, I love that. Like, tell me what you will do with the money, besides the fact that, yes, it's awesome when you cover your own costs, but what would excite you? Like I used to do that too with our kids. We would go get ice cream when I hit Success Club because it was a way to celebrate that mom was growing in her business. I remember when Sarah got her sewing machine and the pigs, which was super fun. But like, what would you guys do? If you feel comfortable, I would love for you to share it. Workout gear for sure in the comments. A goose. I love it. Because just as much as you want to reverse engineer your goals, you need to have something that excites you. And that is also part of the story you tell that inspires other people into your business. I love that. Like, for example, saying, I want to help pay for our groceries 1 week, or I want to help that's a huge thing. Like, to me, whenever I can do something, I remember covering my son's speech therapy. It was huge for me one time when he needed that. Awesome. I love that, Angie. That's so good.
Can I say something to that?
Yeah.
Kind of what Angie just said in the chat. And if you're watching the recording, you're missing these incredible goals that are coming in the chat. But some of the things that excite people are being able to contribute to the family finances. And it sounds to some people like, why is, like, that's not something you can get super excited about. And for some people you can, but what I think will like help you focus on that when it's hard to do the work is to ask yourself what it will feel like to be able to say to your spouse, I can cover that $200.
Mm-hmm.
I can cover that. Or if your account is running short, or if you have a projected like cut in pay or something extra that you want to do that you haven't been able to do, like allow yourself to really feel the feeling of what it will be like to say, I can cover that.
Mm-hmm.
Or what it will be like what it will feel like to say to your spouse, like, I made enough money to leave that part of my job or to do this other thing or whatever it is, just to allow yourself to, because I got to tell you, that was my goal for a long time, was to be able to cover the deficit in our budget.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not exciting to me. It feels good, but it's not like exciting. But being able to say that to my family is exciting.
Yes. And I would say,
so even if it's not like a workout picture, like workout gear that you can like hang up the picture, you know, the thing that you can focus on, how that's going to feel.
Yes. I think having a photo of what it represents is really good. There was a year 2 falls ago that my daughter needed shoes for sports and she really wanted a pair of Nikes and we couldn't afford it because we had more month than money. And it made me sad that I had to tell her no because we had to, not because I wanted the freedom to say no, you know what I mean? Like, and so I printed off a photo of the shoes she wanted and I worked that month and I bought her shoes. And I have a picture of the shoes. And it just reminds me when I'm inviting people to help people do that and how much it meant to me to be able to do that. You know what I mean? So think about that because it's important. Now, the second part of the worksheet is typically what you do at the end of the month, but I want to talk to you a little bit about it because we're at the beginning of the month. So at the end of every month, you'll revisit your goals, which I believe, honestly, you should reread this before you work. Like they talk about visiting your goals daily and writing them. If you don't feel called to write them daily, you should read them daily. If something doesn't, like sometimes we write goals for a season that don't mean anything to us because we think we're supposed to, but when we visit them long enough, what happens is they shift into what we really want. Like we might write forever, like, I want to be a 10-star diamond. I want to be a 10-star diamond. And then all of a sudden it changes into, I want to help 10 women grow a diamond business. Like, or I want to help 10 women make $1,000 a month. Or I want to help 10 women who feel stuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets clearer. So you got to start with your goals and you have to read them enough that you can refine them. But at the end of every month, what I want you to do is something John C. Maxwell says is sometimes you win and sometimes you learn, instead of sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. He actually wrote it as a book, and he also wrote a kid's book. The kid's book is really cute. My kids thought it was fun. But there was another quote that I found on Instagram I wanted to share with you that Brick House in the City wrote. And it said, grace means that all your mistakes now serve a purpose instead of serving shame. So at the end of the month, it's really easy for us to be like, well, I didn't do this, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do this, and I fell short here. And it's really easy when we self-evaluate to get super critical. So before you do that, I want you just to think now, we're in May of 2020. This has been the year of all years for a lot of people. How have you grown? So we're going to cheat and we're going to fill this out now. How have you grown in your personal journey? And I want you to share it in the chat. How have you grown in your business? Literally, have you rank advanced or made or earned an income or helped a person? Have you grown as a leader, developed confidence? I want you to share. How have you grown right now? Everybody needs to share. Because you have to start with how you're winning before you can accurately give yourself constructive criticism. Otherwise, you're just going to bully yourself, and then you're not going to grow. Coming from like Mrs. Rocky Balboa punching herself out herself. Like that was my struggle forever. I love that. Detach from the outcome so I can really serve. Very close to 1 star. Belief has grown to the point that my insecurities and fears don't stop me. Grown as a leader, leading my own challenge group, making money every week, signed a coach, which gave me confidence. Yes, personal journey, not seeing myself as a failure. Y'all, yes, I've grown as being Emerald. I've also helped lead in my group with Angie. So many good things here. So many good things. So, thinking about your challenge group presence and what's going well, then brainstorm things you can do this month to serve a little more. Not like rewrite an entire challenge group, like small tweaks. I'm going to make sure I encourage 3 people every night, or I'm going to share a recipe once a week, or like Allison's been doing story time. She reads from the devotional, which I love in our group. Taking some time, what goals did you move towards? Maybe you didn't reach Emerald or you didn't reach Diamond, but did you move towards it? Did you move towards it in your growth? Did you move towards it in your belief? I know in the past, if someone had said that to me, I would have rolled my eyes and be like, well, that doesn't really matter. It really does, because you have to have the belief there really before the other can come. What challenges did you face and what did you learn to help this month? That right there is your social media story, what you're growing towards. So when you self-evaluate, not only are you going to help yourself with your goals, you're giving yourself content to share. These are the stories people need. They need to know, yes, you can humble brag, but also when you miss something, or what you're learning. So using the self-evaluation to really share is going to make you more relatable when you share your story. And the last part is just for I have this because in my mind, you will keep this with your business activity trackers. And so as you get ideas, I don't know about you, I have an idea notebook, but it's never with me when I have the idea. So now I have multiple idea notebooks. One's in my purse, one's in the kitchen, and one's now on the bottom of this sheet. But as you're working, if you have an idea, write it down. If you're filling this graphic out and you're like, oh, I need to do this, you have a place to write it down. And my hope is that you'll do this every month, because what I've learned through being a coach for almost 7 years is that there's a lot of power in taking time to actually plan. We are going to do a call next week with Steph Cram and her team, and we're going to teach you kind of how to lay out and start inviting and posting 2 weeks in advance, because we're going to be leading up to the coach workshop, and teach you how to do that so that you can do that for the challenge group and the team, the coaching workshop. But Sunday night, what I realized is that we teach our challengers all the time that they need to sit down and plan. But sometimes, maybe it's just me, but I'm like, oh, I've been doing this long enough. I don't need to do it anymore. And I wing it. Let me tell you how winging goes. It doesn't. It doesn't. Okay. Winging goes with you feeling like a fraud. Winging goes with you having more off days than on, or not being able to see the on days because you're not writing it down. We have to be continually doing the things, and it's like the compound effect or the slight edge, or, it's the small little things that we think are annoying that it really is what the difference of the people who make it and the people who don't, whether it's in this business or with your goals. And so I want you to my vision is that you will print one of these a month, and then you will print 4 weeks of whatever tracker you decide from Unit 2. Whether it's the 222 or the 3 or the Beachbody one or whatever, or if you have a digital, that's fine. And that you will reference it. And I also shared this on which I'll repost in the team, I made this, it's just your power hour plan. And I just X off every day I do a power hour. And on the back of it is a place to post your social media, plan your social media. But I print one of these every month because to me, I do click the power hour poll for accountability. Like I do post my tracker, which the last few weeks my tracking has been a hot mess and I haven't posted it. And when that tracker shout out pops up and I'm not on it, I'm like, hello, I don't care how long I've been doing this. I still need to be posting my stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes we get lukewarm in the things that are actually the foundation, because I don't know, I want to come up with this really awesome analogy with running, but I don't think I can do it because I'm not that much of a runner, except for I do know that when I ran, there was always the first 10 minutes that completely sucked. It was like the hardest 10 minutes. I hated it. It took me until that 10 minutes that I got into the groove and I enjoyed it. And I feel like the 10 minutes are sometimes the prep that we don't want to do, whether it's the prep for our power hour, whether it's the playlist we don't feel like taking the 10 minutes to make, or the writing our goals or the writing our wins or whatever. We're like, yeah, or the personal development we're not reading. And you can decide what is missing for you. But I can tell you, if you're not getting to where you want to go and you're always saying, I'm just winging it or I feel behind, which I've been saying a lot, it's because poor planning. I'm not, this is a business. This isn't my hobby. No business owner goes into like the restaurant the day of and is like, I wonder what's in the kitchen and we can make today. Like they actually have, maybe some of them do, but probably not. Maybe my father-in-law. No, my father-in-law has red beans and rice every Monday. He has fried chicken every Wednesday. He has Italian food every Thursday. He has seafood every Friday. Tuesdays, whatever he feels like. So he gives himself a day to wing it. Saturdays is only breakfast. You don't order French fries on Wednesday because the fried chicken's in there. I mean, the man, and he's been doing this for, 40 years. Like, and he has a business that's running efficiently. Oh, you totally have to, Allison. They have takeout. It is the best food. I'm really bummed. I was going to have them cater for us at Summit. And they have really good breakfast. It's on Airline by Severn. If you're in New Orleans, you should go eat at my father-in-law's. But my point is, like, he goes in like clockwork. He doesn't have to think. He's in his kitchen and he knows exactly what he's making that day. He's got like, I watched the man forever, and it used to kind of make me laugh about it, but now I'm like, but he's in a groove and that's how he runs his business. If I know what I'm doing when I sit down to work, and I know right now is challenging because sometimes we're mid-power hour learning for the first time. My mind was blown today, and I texted Sarah and I was like, wait, I thought centimeters were like measured into inches. And she's like, no, flip the ruler. I was like, okay, I haven't had to do that kind of math in like forever. And I was like mid-working and had to stop and do 7-year-old math and then go back to this. I get it. But if you know your goal and you know you're working towards and you've taken the prep work, then the daily to-dos are not as hard because you already have your list of 30 people you're inviting. And you know who you checked in with yesterday because you wrote their names down. Okay, so if you want to, rock May, which it's only May 6th, and I keep thinking it's like 7th, 6th. It feels like it's May 30th already, but it's not. So don't say like I did, oh, we start Monday, I don't have anybody. Just keep doing the things and you'll get there. But if there's one other thing I want to tell you, Mark Prole, yes. You have to have a plan to celebrate what you do well. Like, you ever have a kid who did really well and you're proud of them and they immediately criticize themselves or like, yeah, but I could have done this better? Anyone ever have a kid do that before? Like, you're like, oh my gosh, you did so well in the soccer game. Yeah, but I could have done that. We don't want to set our business up that way when we bring people into our team. But if you don't celebrate what you do, people will do that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't celebrate that, like, you did your power hour 5 days when you were struggling to get it in because you've got all the kids home and it's hard, your coach won't feel like their 3 power hours their first month was enough. If you don't show in your challenge group on the brownie day that you bounced back the next day and drank a lot of water and forgave yourself, then the person who still has like sweets every night is not going to want to share. So we have to be okay with doing it messy and having a plan to celebrate. And I think that that's going to be a big difference for all of us as we go into this month. So, on Thursdays, tomorrow, when the post goes up, everybody needs to post on that, something they're thankful for in the business. Brad Bizjack always says, if you want to get out of the season you're in faster, you need to be really grateful for the season you're in. It's not about waiting for spring when you're in winter. It's about being so flippin' grateful for winter that spring gets there faster because you enjoyed every moment of winter instead of complaining about it forever waiting for spring to come. So you're going to have Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, that was a record. It's amazing what happens when I have a paper to work off of. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to add? A plan. Mm-hmm. All right, so a couple things just to remind you. We have power hours every day. I challenge you to pick one that you're going to show up on a week with one of these lovely ladies on here for Cathedral Builders. Number 2, empower hours in the morning at 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m., whatever time you get up. I encourage you to make one a week, just one. And you might do another one because it's like, oh, wow, I did that. Team calls are on Wednesday nights now. For a while, I was going to do Sandlot forever, but I don't know if it'll be forever. So anyway, I love that movie. So take note of it. If you have new coaches, invite them. Okay. And take time to do this. Yes. Raise hand.
Yeah, that's me. So don't be scared to come to the live power hours. All we do is work. And if you have questions, you can ask them. And if you don't have questions, you don't have to talk to me. I don't care. I won't be offended if you don't talk to me. Just show up for the power hour and get it done. And if you have questions, I'm here to answer them, or whoever is running the power hour. Yep. We're happy to answer the questions. We're just there for an hour. We're working, you're working. We're not going to walk you through every step unless you need that. Like if you need somebody to say, okay, now I'm doing this, do this with me, we can do that. But we're not doing like a guided power hour. You can do your work your way, and I just want to make sure everybody understands that we're not going to like baby step you through it unless you need some help. And then we can answer the questions as you go along. But I'm not going to be like, okay, now let me write this invite for you. But you can come, and we're happy to have you. We would love to have more people come. I usually do mine with just 1 or 2 people on Monday nights. So anytime you want to come, the thing is posted, and we all kind of do it a little bit differently, but we're all there and we're all willing to help. So don't be scared. We're not going to bite.
No one will yell at you.
No, we're not going to yell at you. You did it wrong. Nothing like that.
No. And it's just good to stay surrounded, especially since we're home so often, like pretty much all day now. As Sarah says, we're under house arrest, which feels that way. So let's take a photo and then we will pray. Hang on. Right, ready? Wait, my camera is dirty. Hang on. Okay. Y'all love me. Oh, it's all blurry. What the heck? Come on, iPhone. 1, 2, 3. It looks like I have a filter, but I don't. It's just smudged. All right, let's pray. You guys, look, here's the deal. Whatever goal you have is possible, okay? And whatever you want to do with this business is possible. And if there's one more thing I'll tell you, stop saying I should have been there by now and just make it happen this month. If you want some help, Angie. If you want some help, ask for help and appreciate the lessons you're learning, okay? I've seen so much growth in our team in this year of chaos. It's been phenomenal watching you guys stand up and really serve people. And so be proud of yourselves. Like, this is an amazing time. And so just know that. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, I am so grateful for this amazing community, this team, these women and men that are here to serve, Lord. I'm grateful for the business opportunity, for Beachbody, for the way they are providing a solution to people right now when so many people feel trapped at home, that they can still take care of themselves and still be healthy and be connected with people who are growing. God, I pray over all the goals that were written down tonight and all of those who are listening to the recording and writing their goals. I pray that you would take the little we have right now and that you would multiply it to make enough, that you would bless our effort, Lord. Help us to be good stewards with the gift of this business. Help us to grow this team so that more hands can serve into the field. Help our challenge groups to really become even more a place of growth and wellness and soul care and self-care of women losing the weight that they want and finding comfort in their skin and overcoming food addiction and marriages being blessed and families being blessed, Lord. I give you that vision of this team family, Lord, that stage with the bubbles and the streamers and the dancing and the men and women and the thousands of kids. And I just ask that you make that happen before our eyes and help us to see it and celebrate it every step of the way. Help us to celebrate the little victories, of the weight loss and our own journey of overcoming the self-doubt, of the ways that we're growing in our marriages and in our motherhood and in whatever we're called to do. God, I ask that you just help us to see, give us eyes to see the growth. I thank you for this amazing team. I thank you that we get to serve together. And I just ask that you, Lord, would help this May to be a beautiful month of growth for all of us, that we would be a light in the Beachbody culture, that people would see this team, and that in all things we do, we point to you. God, I'm so grateful, and we give you all the glory as we offer this in your most holy name. Amen. All right, ladies. Oh, PD suggestions. We'll have to mention it, put in the team page, Beth, and maybe we can all share what we're reading. Oh, yeah, that one's supposed to be really good too. All right, y'all, Atomic Habits for those not on the call. Next week, everyone comes to the call, and then you get to actually enjoy the chat. All right, good night, everybody.